The fog has descended over the Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana, California, as we get set to go racing for race number 2 of the OMSRL Xfinity Series. Hello, one and all, and welcome to Green Flag TV and to California. My name is Old Rebel. I'll be bringing you all of the coverage here tonight for tonight's running of the Yellow Wheels Are Faster 150 from the Auto Club Speedway. We saw one barn burner of a race to kick things off at the Daytona International Speedway for the Hack the Movies Fine and Fun 150 just 1 week ago in the OMSRL Xfinity Series, and now today we are set to see what these drivers 31 strong will be able to do tonight to put on another great show. 150 miles, 75 laps the distance, with, of course, the competition yellow coming on out at that halfway point. You look to the championship standings as they stand, and when you factor in the stage points, it is not Grant Peterson, but Hunter Thrower to take the points lead as we leave Daytona in Florida and swing out to the West Coast with Dave Gage not only second place at the points, but also leading the Rookie of the Year standings at the moment, currently sitting in that second position. Grant Peterson sits back in third with your last race, with the last race win as well. Going through all of the results here, currently up for you guys, and I tell you what, it's been one heck of a drive for all of these guys to be able to put themselves where they are today as we get set to go racing for another high-speed, draft-heavy racetrack, and it'll be a really tough challenger to see what these guys are going to be able to see who's going to be able to come out on top and put on a good showing for us then here tonight. Qualifying currently underway, and you've got a whole host of drivers that are all out there at the moment on the track trying to get themselves sorted with some fairly decent times. Lucas Reed currently leads the way on the racetrack. He'll be the one to put, the first driver to put down a benchmark time as he'll enter turn numbers 1 and 2, but still has not put down the first lap. It'll actually be Matt Cherry to lead the boards. He'll lead Anthony Mussati down as well. Mussati clocks in a 41.474 for the benchmark time so far. As one by one, times are going to start to tick on in as this time moves along. Nathan Shiflett on the top of the boards. We'll take a look at Grant Peterson, who's going to go down and into the inside wall. He's not going to have himself with the best of qualifying runs in this one. And in fact, while we are watching some of these guys run down with their qualifying laps, we will try to hopefully see if we can get ourselves a bit sorted a little bit further on into this race. And while we are just waiting around here for these things to get themselves sorted, it looks like Grant Peterson has gotten himself relatively sorted here off of the racetrack. And Grant, you, of course, took the race win over Daytona. Didn't get the chance to talk to you there, but we got the chance to catch up with you here. Why don't you walk us through what that last intense Green White Checker was like as you watched that field take themselves out behind you?
I mean, it was so long ago, I hardly remember it, but I just remember last lap, coming into the tri-oval to take the white flag. Hunter, I remember he would always leave the bottom open just enough all the way around the track. He was doing it all race. I was following him the whole race, and he did that off 2, and I just threw it in below him off of turn 2, and just I got a heck of a push from Kenner down the backstretch, and thankfully Robert didn't throw that block, because if Robert or Hunter tried to block there, we would have wrecked, because I wasn't lifting. I was just gonna win.
And, of course, you take that race win, and now you come into this race third in points when you factor the stage points, but you're still in a good position to come out swinging here at Auto Club. It's a trap-heavy trap. One that race is nothing even close to the 2.5-mile super speedway. What's your take on this race circuit here in Fontana?
This track's always been hit or miss for me. I'm either really good at it or just really bad. I feel like we're going to take a couple swings here to hopefully go to the good side of it, but if we take a look at qualifying, it's not looking too good. Ended on my second lap. Looks like we're going to be rolling out at least 20th. Now we're 21st.
Well, as you know, there's a lot that can happen in such a short little while, and hopefully you'll be getting yourselves with a solid run later on in this race. Thank you for taking the time out of your qualifier to talk to us here, and I will hopefully be talking to you again by the end of this one.
That's the plan.
finally got a chance to catch up with race winner Grant Peterson at the end of taking the win from last week's broadcast. We'll take a look at Hunter Thrower as he gets set to come across the line for his second qualifying lap. 30 seconds remain on the clock for drivers to get themselves sorted, and not going to be able to. Oh, he will improve up to the second position with a 41.211. So great work for Peterson. DeWalt will go second fast on the boards, and that just leaves Michael DeWalt, the last driver on the racetrack. He will not have time, though, to put in the second lap. So that is going to be it for drivers to log in these qualifying times. And qualifying going to be relatively complete then as we get set to swing things on out. And I think it's about high time then that we take a rundown here of what things are going to be looking like as we get set to take it to the starting grid here for the yellow. The yellow wheels are faster 150. Try saying that 5 times fast. And as we get set to take things up to that starting grid, it is none other than Todd Gray to be on pole position with Hunter Thrower beside him on the front row by only 14,000 of a second. Cog Green sets another 2,000 back on row number 2 with Spencer Ray in 4th. Ryan Dingler's back in 5th with Sean Anderson bringing it up in that 6th position. Kevin Cordall is 7th with Sean Kaiser back in 8th. Nathan Shiflett is in 9th. Anthony Musati rounds out the top 10. Zachary Kreiger and Michael DeWalt sit on row number 6 side by side. Moving down through the field, you got Jacob Noyes for Inconsistency Racing in 13th. Josh Ball is in 14th. You've got Clark Gennigan in 15th. Stephen Purcell in 16th. Matthew Welsenbach in 17th. Colton Wells is in 18th. The defending champion right there, sitting way back in the field for TI Racing. Kyle Munson is back in 19th. Matt Cherry in 20th. Adam Schramm is in 21st with Bear Morton in 22nd. Dave Gage, the Rookie of the Year leader in the points. He sits way back in 23rd place with Grant Peterson, a disappointing 24th. A lot of work for him to do if he wants to see if he can get a back-to-back win here at Auto Club. Lucas Reed, Jeffrey Rudick, Colton Hoffner, Matt Rucci, Michael Kenner, Robert Peterson, and Matt LaValle round out tonight's 31-car field from the Auto Club Speedway. We got ourselves all sorted, and now drivers are getting set to roll off of the gridding area here, and we'll get ourselves all sorted for how this race is going to shake on up deeper in this one. And it's going to be a hard-fought race for a lot of the drivers in this field as you watch these drivers one by one start to file their way off of pit road. A bit of trouble for Shiflett getting into number 15, Napa Auto Parts 15, Joy to Super fired. He's going to get himself rolling before too long as you watch your entire field file off the pit road. And this time, unlike what we had seen over in race number 1, no drivers will be missing the starting call. We'll be seeing all 31 take it to the green flag. Talked about it before about how it is a very foggy day around the Auto Club Speedway. You take a look at the humidity all the way up to 100% and at 988 HPA, fairly decent winds as well, about 5 kilometers an hour, but it's not going to be too impactful for these drivers. Blowing up about 234 degrees over on the compass. Track temperature is sitting at a pretty comfortable 43 degrees Celsius to the air's 18. So it's a pretty chilly day by California standards. We should be in for a fun race here tonight, and as the pace car takes this field through 3 and 4, I want to thank everybody for taking the time here out of your Tuesday night to join us here on Green Flag TV for race number 2 in the OMSRL Xfinity Series. So as we get set to take it off of turn numbers 3 and 4, pace cars down and in, leave it to the hands of Todd Gray, who is going to take us down to the green flag. We're officially underway for race number 2. Up in trouble already in the background. Colton Hoffner's gone around, and he's taking a whole host of drivers with him. So not the way we want to see the start off. Also involved Grant Peterson and Robert Peterson. So last week's winner, after a horrendous start, a lot of damage on the back end immediately for the number 52 car. Todd Gray will be the driver to take us out to the racetrack first, and we'll pull up the time boards over on the left-hand side of your screens as all 31 drivers have taken it here onto the race course. And Grant Peterson already looking like he probably wanted to bail out down to the pit road. Not the start that we wanted to see tonight, as did not even make it to turn 1 before we had our first caution flag. Daytona, we made it a couple laps at the very least. Can't say, though, this is ringing a few little bells to what happened last season as well. let's see if we can't back things up. And let's go catch up the pace car first. Got a lot of time to kill under this yellow flag all of a sudden as a result of that mess. So obviously just about no changes in your running order thus far. Safety car must be a good ways up to the field if they still have not caught him. It looks like it's just about here over in turn number 3. So now we'll take a rundown and we'll see what the heck happened here. We'll start with Colton Hoffner right at the tail end of the field in the 00 car. Oh, a bit of a checkup, and he got run over by Michael Kenner's 98 car. So Hoffner spun to the inside, and it looks like Peterson's incident was completely isolated and unrelated to what we had just seen. And we'll try to get an eye on this one here. Looks like it was just a bit of a stack. There's the 9 car checking up. The 00 getting sent around there. Oh, Peterson, I think, missed a shift and got hit by Matt Rucci, and that sent Robert Peterson down as well. That's an unusual incident, though. We'll see if we can. I want to get a look on board with Grant Peterson if we can here. And let's listen in. Absolutely missed the shift. Just could not get the car back into gear. And for Robert Peterson, there was just unfortunately nowhere to go whatsoever. He'll ride aboard the 97 car now, laying back a little bit on the start and not going to jump it, though. That's very important on this one. There you see Hoffner getting turned around, and yeah, nothing the 97 car could do. You're just completely blindsided by that whole deal as he'll go around over on the front straightaway. Rucci takes a band of cars down onto pit road. And I mentioned before, this is kind of ringing the bells a little bit on what we saw happen in season number 3. Now, we were not at Auto Club in season 3. We were, however, at the Michigan International Speedway. We saw a plethora of yellow flags there. I think we had about 7, almost back to back to back to back. And it took until well into stage 2 before we were able to finally get ourselves with a decent green flag run. But the good news is for these guys now, they are relatively good to go, at least for the time being in this one. And Todd Cray will be your race leader. You see kind of the manufacturer differences throughout the field. There's a whole host of Chevys right around the 18th position for the moment. The lights go out. It'll be 1 lap to green this time by. Cray still holds the lead from the bottom shelf, and I'm going to see if we can get one last look at the incident that we saw in the background here with Grant Peterson and Robert Peterson. You can see the 00 spin around in the background, and right about there gets a bit of a shove. Then Peterson gets loose, and he's going to lose control as well. It's not quite, I think, what these guys were hoping for here in this one. Then, of course, they had that early yellow flag, but hey, get it out of the system early, and we'll restack them. Try this one again, down to turn number 3. Green on the outside for Dirty South Racing. Hunter Thrower waving the flag for All-American Motorsports. Todd Cray, one of the rookies into this season, now leading the race. Trying to see if he can take away the Rookie of the Year points lead from Dave Gage. There's currently, I believe, I just checked my notes, but I think there's about 4 points separating those two drivers. There is, and it's another 8. Back to Adam Schramm in 3rd in the Rookie of the Year standings. Green flag, we're going to try this one again. Back in the air, and we're underway. Zachary Kreiger body slams into the inside wall, and they're wrecking again up front. Matt Rucci gonna almost get collected. Caution flies again, and we're still crashing deep in the field. and still running to each other. Drivers try to rejoin the race course, and we still have yet to make it one lap to green. And there is a lot to unpack with this one, so we'll start early with the likes of Zachary Kreiser, who really have, I think, kind of started this whole thing off first. And Kreiser is in the midst of a three-way fight. You see the 19 car down on the inside and, up into the wall. I think that was Josh Ball, went down into the wall, and that sent Kreiser hard into the inside wall with a big tank slap. And then, of course, he had a whole host of mess occur up the road. And I know Barrett Morton at the thick of this here, and whoa, the 27 car all over the shot. Just trying to kind of unpack this here because there is a lot that went down in the midst of all of this. So let's get a look at this from the air. I'll try to find the 27 of Clark Genniken. There goes Kreiser to the inside, and Noyes went up, and that's what started at the 29. Ran into Jacob Noyes, and it was on from there as drivers shot down the racetrack. So this will be a bit of a better angle, I'm hoping. If not, we'll try this again from a bit of a higher up angle, but you're going to see Clark Genniken get up and into the 34 there. He's going to shoot around, and there goes Matt Cherry up into the wall, and from there, it's a bit of a self-explanatory story, and the 0-0 with nowhere to go. And man, I'm telling you, this is a weird incident because there is a lot that went down to kick this one off. And I'm trying to see if we can figure out what the heck happened further in the field with the likes of Robert Peterson. This is Michael Kenner shooting to the inside line. Here's Peterson just kind of flying in at the last second. And Grant Peterson, trying to check up. He had to avoid. Okay, so Grant Peterson had to avoid the 74 that was coming up the racetrack here. These guys are all out of shape. And that's what sent Grant Peterson around, at least. Then you had the 61 as well, kind of collected up in the thick of this. And it was Matt LaValle's number 61 car that ended up tanking over into the inside wall. And right on board with LaValle. Currently sitting 22nd place on the racetrack after this whole mess. He's going to go way to the inside, and he's going to, bounce. Wow, weird incident for him, but he's going to come back up right in time to see that whole mess. So just a lot that went down in such a short period of time, and I'm going to go for one more effort here. Might be a bit of a rough ride here with the fog being as thick as it is, and I don't think we're going to be able to quite get anything from this. Might be able to get something from here, though, and we'll see if he can't unpack. There's Genniken. It was the 29 that hit him. And there goes Morty. You see the 104, the 404, excuse me, collected. It was Dave Gage. The lights are out on the Iverson safety car. Will be green flag this time by. Wish we could have gotten the chance to probably dissect what went down there. That's going to be one for the post-race review, though. There's just so much that happened at one given point. Gray from green, from Dingler from thrower from Ray to bring out the top five. In the yellow, wheels are faster at 150 from the Auto Club Speedway. For race number 2, the OMSRL Xfinity Series. Going to make another trip down into the pit road with the pace car, and we'll try to do this third time's the charm. Fingers crossed, and green flag. Going to get back up in the air, and we're underway. And finally, we get our first lap, fully green flag, and it's Todd Gray to still lead the way from Kyle Green, trying to chase after him down and towards turn number 1. Green looking for the high side and 1 and 2 to try to see if he can't go for the over-under, but no room to make this one work. All 31 cars still on the racetrack despite the calamities. Zachary Kreischer sitting 1 lap down. Deeper in the pack, we're double file. We're about the 4th position between Hunter Thrower and Spencer Ray down into turn numbers 3 and 4. The PlayStation Supra up the inside of the Cobalt Tools number 83 Chevrolet Camaro. Pushing up to the outside wall, gotta really be careful. It's a slider for the NOS Energy Drinks machine of Sean Anderson across the nose of Kevin Cordall, and we're 3 wide behind with Shiflett in the middle and Kaiser trying to work his way through as we run down into turn number 1 for the 11th time today. Oh, a bit of beating and banging in the background here. That's going to get a bit hot and heavy. That was the number 10 car getting a bit out of shape. Lucas Reed for the bottom. We had Matt Cherry on his outside. I think it was the 31 of Adam Schramm in the thick of this as well. So he got fights up and down all the way throughout the field. Everywhere you look, exactly the type of racing action that you want to see from a racetrack like Auto Club, as Colby Wells, defending champion. The 45 trying to pick his way up through the field. He's going to get by Kevin Cordall for 7th. Wells trying to make up spots early on to see if he can't get himself with a good run later on in this race. There goes Anderson jumping to the inside line. Trying to make the pass on Thrower for the 5th position to break his way up into the top 5 for the first time all day long. Thrower leaning on the door. Got to be careful of that one when you get over onto that right rear quarter. Thrower's going to keep it steady, though. He's got the drive for the outside, and he'll get the draft down this front straightaway all the way down to turn number 1. Just now, finally getting our way single filed out throughout the field. Wells looking up to make moves up on the top shelf here, trying to open up that second way. I'm not quite sure if he's got the rubber in there, though. You can get a good run, but you got to always go for the over-under passes, and he's going to do just that. Looks to the inside of Hunter Thrower to pick up 6th position, and a lot of drivers swapping around in positions here. Ryan Dingler looking to fend off Spencer Ray. Ray goes to the bottom of 1 and 2, and Ray will pick up a 3rd position for himself, put himself up onto the podium. So Spencer Ray +1. Todd Gray, the one of the only drivers that has not made moves so far all throughout this race tonight. These guys have been more than content to let that number 21 Chevrolet lead the way up in front as the field now starting to spread out around the Auto Club Speedway. Stage end comes to a close on lap number 25, coming to 26. If we get a yellow flag on lap 22 or later, the stage will end prematurely. Saw the stage have a 1 lap cut over in our first race at Daytona. We're hoping we will not be seeing that here today from the Auto Club Speedway, as Dingler continues to track in the 4th position, side by side behind for 5th between Sean Anderson on the bottom and Colby Wells up on the top shelf. Nashville Rooftop Bar Tours number 45 going up against the NOS Energy Drinks Mustang down on the bottom. Wells running that Larson line all the way up by the wall, and that's going to give him a great drive off a corner exit. He'll be able to clear by the time they get to start finish, but will he be able to clear for the position down to turn number 1? It's a bit doubtful as they sit. And he will not. The 14 still holds tough on that inside line and will try to shake the 45 down into the entry of turn number 1. Looking back deeper in the field, you got Stephen Russell and Bear Morton nose to tail. And how about this one, the 31 car looking to the inside. That will be Adam Schramm trying to get around Michael Kenner for the fight for 16th place on the racetrack. Kyle Munson sits right behind them. Not quite a hole that time for Schramm. Even further back in the field, you got this side-by-side battle. The 33 of Josh Ball trying to go defensive against the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach, as well as Colton Hoffner in the 0-0. All the while, Kyle Green and Ryan Dingler do battle amongst themselves. Dingler is going to clear for third. Now trying to chase after Spencer Ray, who's managed to pick up second. Under 10 laps to go here from the Auto Club Speedway as Anthony Musati having some technical difficulties at the tail end of the field. You can tell by him jumping all over the timing board. That's usually a pretty solid giveaway. And are we going to go for 3 wide here? There's Musati up on top. Shiflett running the middle. Kaiser down low. Got to always be a bit more cautious when you're running around a driver like this who could find himself kind of getting in the way at any given moment. You can see Rucci looking to the inside of Shiflett now, making the run down for the 10th position in towards turns 3 and 4. We didn't see Rucci out to play over at Daytona. He had a good run to get that championship and secure himself a third OMSRL Xfinity Series title in Season 3. Opted against it, though, or opted against running the season opener. He runs here today, though, in Season 4's second installment. He'll try to clear Shiflett, and he's got, I think, Musati a bit to help him out up in front, and Rucci will pull clear, and you see Sean Kaiser tucked in right behind him as well, trying to find a hole. Spencer Ray, meanwhile, is taking over the race lead as Todd Cray is dropping back like a stone at the moment, and it's going to be a rough ride as Dingler looks to get around for the second position as well. Take a quick look back on when this pass from the lead took place. There's Spencer Ray getting the run off of turn number 2 and made that dive easy down in towards turn number 3, and that was all she wrote. Todd Cray not able to fight this one back, and Dingler will clear for second down into turn number 1 as well. We're double file behind, 2 rows deep. Thrower, Rucci, Cordall, and Musati all under a blanket. Cordall running up by the top shelf. Can barely see them around through the fog out there. Obviously, it's much better for these drivers down on the racetrack as Rucci tries to maintain speed on the bottom side, but it's difficult with a flashing Anthony Musati kind of getting in the way almost. Kevin Cordall side trapped him up in the top lane. Thrower can't make it happen from the bottom as well. 5 laps to go in stage 1. Sean Kaiser going to move his way up to the top shelf as well. Try to see if he can get himself with a good run down the back straightaway. Kaiser clears from rookie Shiflett down the back stretch. Michael Kenner trying to take a spot away from veteran Matt Cherry. Dr. Pepper Supra going to make the jump over to Toyota after running the High Point Mustang for Kennebaker Racing for pretty much all of last season. Ian Cherry will scrap it out for 14th on the racetrack. Kyle Munson waiting in the wings, just kind of looking on. We're at the point of no return. Caution comes out now, and stage 1 will come to a conclusion. Still got Kobe Wells trying to make some battles as well up here in the 5th spot. He just cleared around Sean Anderson. Rucci finally gets around Musati for 7th place on the inside line. Spencer Ray will take 2 laps left to go in stage number 1. And he's got Ryan Dingler hot on his heels. Dingler looking to the inside, gets the run off of turn number 2, and it's going to be a drag race down the bumpy back straightaway into turn number 3. The Monster Energy Supra gets around the PlayStation number 6, and Dingler will move up into the 3rd position, or the 1st position, and Spencer Ray now trying to go for the over-under out for turn number 4. 2 laps to go. Spencer Ray. Oh, tried to go the high side. No room. He'll cut back down low into turn number 1. And Ryan Dingler going to lose out. And look at this crossover. Down the run in towards turn numbers 1 and 2. And Spencer Ray now has a lot of work to do up on the top shelf. Dingler taking the defensive line. Fight for the stage win is on, and Dingler will pull clear by a healthy margin into turn number 3. I think Spencer Ray kind of used up what he had to try to go for this position. And we'll start the final trip around the Auto Club Speedway for stage number 1, and the yellow wheels are faster 150. To the outside goes Spencer Ray, trying to take the long way around, maybe hoping that Dingler pushes up for the bottom so he can be the one to pull to the slider. Have that good drive off of turn number 2. Look at that delta closing in on the left side of the screen. Under 10th and a half, now under a 10th. Does he commit for the pass into turn number 3? Dingler takes the defensive line, and Spencer Ray going to be able to hang on. And won't be able to attack him off of turn number 4, so it'll be Ryan Dingler coming off the final corner, and he will be your winner to win stage number 1 on the day. Caution flag flies. Your top 10 for the stage: Dingler, Ray, Todd Craig, Kobe Wells, Matt Rucci, Kyle Green, Kevin Cordall, Sean Anderson, Hunter Thrower, and Sean Kaiser. Caution is out for the 3rd time today. This time it's for our stage break. We'll take a quick step away. We'll be with you in just a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Auto Club Speedway, where we are still under our 3rd yellow flag of the evening. This one for the competition caution for the opening stage here on the afternoon. And you can see Dingler getting set to lead the entire field here down into pit road. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Dingler will be the one to lead them on in. And just about everybody, in fact, it is going to be every single driver down and into pit road, save for Zachary Kreiser, who is going to be taking the Lucky Dog free pass. You see one by one drivers filtering their way into their pit boxes, and this is where it gets really, really busy out here on the racetrack. And for Dingler, he's going to overshoot. Oh, actually too short, and he does overshoot. So a horrendous stop for Ryan Dingler. Hunter Thrower also this box. He's taking the set of 4, I'd imagine, as one by one drivers start to pick their way through the order. And Todd Cray is going to win the race off of pit row, but only just as Phil going to cycle on off behind. See Kyle Green leaving the box, and that just leaves one driver sitting still on the pit road. That's Jacob Noyes, who is taking a very long stop here in the box, but that's going to lead us back down and around here onto the racetrack with Todd Craig going to be up and leading the way. We'll see if we can get a quick chat here with your stage 1 winner here in just a moment, as it's going to be a pretty solid run for all the drivers in this field. And there is Ryan Dingler sitting down there in pit road, and see if we can try to dial up your stage 1 winner. Ryan, this is Nolan here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Well, you get yourself that stage 1 win, but it kind of fell apart in pit row. What's the strategy going to be when you get down to the restart here?
Just be clean and hopefully try to pick them off as they burn up the tires. If they do, maybe try to save mine. So we'll see.
It's a bit of a rough start to the race overall. A couple of cautions early on, but you think you got that car for the long run pace, so this thing could go green on the restart here?
I'm not sure how good my pace is on the long run, but we're gonna try and see what we can do with it.
See what you can do. It's all you can really ask of that number 9 car, or the number 2 car, excuse me. Before I let you go, anybody you'd like to quickly shout before we head out?
Yeah, just my whole team and you for putting on the broadcast, man. You did an amazing job.
That was Ryan Dingler joining us up here after he took himself with a pretty solid opening run here over in the number 2 car, starting in P number 9 for the restart after a fairly abysmal run over in the pit box after he first went into shallow and then overshot. So it's going to be a uphill battle then for Ryan Dingler. Good news is he's got those 10 extra bonus points though, so he's got himself a pretty good manageable spot where he's at the moment. Just got to play this one clean and try to see if he can't pick these guys off one driver at a time. Pace cars down and into pit road, and we're going to take it back to the green flag as they enter the Geico restart zone. Morton going around off of turn numbers 3 and 4. He's going to slide down into pit road. What a save for the number 9 car to keep that car out of the wall and out of other drivers. Todd Gray hangs on for the race lead for now off this restart. Spencer Ray going to be back in second position as well. We'll get back in on what just happened to Barrett Morton here in just a moment. But first, we're obviously going to deal with all this chaos that just took place out here on the racetrack. And Cray hangs on to the race lead as Morton continues to track his way through pit road, and he's not going to stop. Obviously, oh, he actually is going to stop. He took a set of 4 tires there on that one, so I figure may as well. Here goes Colby Wells making the drive for the race lead. The defending champion coming to lap 32. Is going to try to clear for the race lead down into turn number 1, this time by making the run into the opening corner, and he is clear. Gray back in the second position. Spencer Ray hanging on for third, and Colby Wells, oh, too far up off the corner, and that's going to open up the door for Todd Gray to have a look back down the inside if you want it. Wells set the fastest lap of the race last time by, and he will hang on just barely for the time being here on this one. Let's take a rundown of what just happened to one Barrett Morton as this got tied off of 4. Blitzed onto the thrower. He's going to slide way down the racetrack and just able to lock it down. And credit to him, he didn't even get that car a speeding penalty. What a drive that he had for himself, as even the guys on the racetrack didn't end up having any kind of scrap with one another. So great job overall for these guys for keeping that thing sorted, but that's obviously going to be something for a review post-race. Here's the Hornet's Nest, deeper in the pack. Double file, like a high-speed pace lap, and Huffner caught in the middle between Josh Paul and Michael DeWalt as we hightail it down the front straightaway, down to turn number 1. pretty much single filed all the way up in front, but this is where all the action's at the moment, down and towards turn numbers 3 and 4 here, deep in the pack. Including drivers like Shiflett, Gennigan, and more. Guys ripping it at sometimes speeds of up to 199 miles an hour around these straightaways, matching the speeds they got at Daytona, but they have to slow it down so much further down towards the corners to the 57 Purcell, switching to the low side as he tries to get around the likes of Grant Peterson off of 1 and 2, excuse me. But just not able to make something happen down the stretch. And now the 14 to Sean Anderson, about to be 3 wide. Cherry on the bottom, DeWalt up on the top. This is going to get a bit tight down to turn number 1. And Anderson forced to yield as Hoffman is going to go through. Got boxed in on both sides. And now got the 29 as well of Matthew Welsenbach trying to force his way up the middle as we run to the back straightaway. Going to be halfway home next time by. Oh, and look out, thrower. That's the scramble to the apron, and going to lose a huge chunk of time, but a good save by the number 83 car. Something going awry with Hunter Thrower here. We'll take a ride on board. He was 3 wide. Oh, contact! With, I believe that was Grant Peterson that sent the 83 car down the track. It was down and clipping the grass. One car up into the outside wall, a bit deeper in the pack there. Believe that to be the likes of Stefan Purcell that got up to the outside safe barrier in 2. Going to let Cherry and DeWalt both just about sweep on through. Well, Matt Rucci has caught up and overtaken Todd Gray. Ryan Dingler's done the same. So Dingler following through with his goals in this race. Just try to see if he can't gradually pick his way up through the running order. Oh, Dingler into the wall. Heads up. He has to send Gray scrambling down to the low side. Again, another great save there in this one, as could have been a disastrous moment, and we'll ride on board with Todd Gray throughout this whole thing. Watch Dingler push up to the outside wall, clips the wall, and slides down. They do make contact, and that sent Gray scrambling down to the bottom. I think Dingler's got some right front damage, and in fact he does. You see it pretty big up on the right-hand side, and that's not going to do good news for the number 2 car. He's going to try to have to nurse that car around to the next pit window. Kevin Cordall and Kyle Munson sit in front of him now. And they'll drive it down back towards turn numbers 1 and 2. next race is up. It's over, going to be at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and Matt Rucci has elected to choose the name for our Bristol race coming on up in just 1 week's time as the Watch Out for Colby 200. And that name comes from the race back in season number 3 when Colton Wells full throttled, or just about full throttled, I should say, turn numbers 3 and 4 in the last lap, shoving Anthony Musati into the wall and basically taking out the 49 car for a win in what has been one of the most controversial wins in OMSRL history. But Wells going to try to go for the double there and might try to take a win up here as well. He still leads the way. Munson to the inside of Kevin Cordall into 3 and 4. All going to pick up a top 5, or try to at least. Munson going to try to pick up the top 5, excuse me, as Cordall defends him off up from that outside line. I think it's safe to say we got a pretty healthy field spread throughout this pack at the moment. You see a lonely 31 car of Barrett Morton just up in front of the leaders as a result of the mess earlier on, and Colby Wells under fire. Here comes Spencer Ray charging for the lead. Down the inside, up into turn numbers 3 and 4, and Ray going to hug the bottom line. Colby Wells trying to pinch him in, and off of turn number 4. Give it up for Spencer Ray. Wells switching to the inside. Here comes Matt Rucci trying to make a charge for the second position. You've got Todd Gray in the thick of this as well. Top 4 under a blanket as Wells tries to work with Ray down on the low side. Rucci in third, and Ray sitting back in fourth, and Rucci going to get a huge run on the top shelf, and he'll take away the second position down the back straightaway, but that's giving Spencer Ray a bit of a gap to work with. Ray finally clears the third position. He'll tuck him line to the third spot as Sean Kaiser gets up and scrapes the outside wall. Or sorry, there might actually just be Michael Kenner that got to the outside wall. It's Kenner that's dropping down the order, and that's going to let Todd Gennigan get by. Kenner's going to try to make a run. Clark Gennigan going to try to get up and around Sean Kaiser as well, the 24 All-American Motorsports Chevrolet. Take 30 laps to go. We're definitely deep now into this run as Jacob Noy is going to be the first driver here to make a scheduled trip down into pit road. Interesting call from Noyes to make the call to the pits this early as Gennigan still fighting that with Kaiser on corner exit at 2. The Red Sim Design Toyota locking horns at the moment with the All-American Motorsports 24 car around 3 and 4 this time around. I think Noyes is going for the early pit strategy. He's going to be good to go to the end of this race as a result. Got a bit of side-by-side action going on back here as well. You got Dave Gage, Colton Hoffner, Kyle Green, and Hunter Thrower all kind of in the mix here, and Green's going to push up off the bottom, and hello, into the wall goes Colton Hoffner, and that's going to send these guys scrambling to the inside. Kyle Green will be able to just get through. Meanwhile, it's Rucci to take the race lead, but Spencer Ray trying to fight back down the front straightaway. It's going to be a dead heat at the start-finish line that last time by, and Spencer Ray, I think, just barely led lap number 47, and starting to heat up the fight for that race lead. This was how Matt Rucci got by him down in towards turn numbers 3 and 4. It was a lunge to the inside, and Spencer Ray simply going for the crossover. And now Rucci back to the inside, taking it away again from Spencer Ray. So we're in a fierce fight now as these guys not willing to let each other breathe. Both these drivers want to lead this race off of turn number 4. Spencer Ray with the drive from the top shelf. No trouble with lap cars just yet, but sooner or later this fight's going to come to a head. Adam Schramm and Josh Ball both entering pit lane to the background. They're not the only ones. Welzenbach also in. Ball almost losing control on pit entry. Rucci still scrambling to the inside, trying to hold the lead. Clears from Spencer Ray, but Ray's got the draft now all the way down the back straightaway to 3 and 4. Spencer Ray jumps to the inside of 3 and 4, trying to make a move. Todd Cray waiting in the wings, trying to see if he can potentially make something happen from way back there in the number 21 car. But so far for Cray, it's just been a bit of a rough time. He's not really been able to make any kind of position gains over back here. Oh, he's going to try to go for second off of 2, it looks like. Rucci scrapes the outside wall, though. So heads up, we might go 3 wide, and oh, look at that. Cray using Ray as a pick. Down to try to pick up the second position, and Rucci going to be under fire now by Todd Cray. All of a sudden, the hands have been changed, and thought they might go 3 wide for the lead, but nope. Todd Cray just hung Spencer Ray out to dry by blocking him in behind Matt Rucci. Kyle Munson enters pit road. He's going to tumble down the timing order, so pit window is very much open. Zachary Kreiser, Sean Anderson, Lucas Reed, all down and into pit road. Either driver in your top 3 pitting yet. We're under 25 laps to go. Going to be 24 this time by, and Rucci continues to barely hang on with the race lead, but Todd Cray is looking. Kyle Green bails out from the lead pack. He's going to make a run down to the pit road. Rucci and Cray both taking very low lines in 3 and 4, but still no signs of pitting. They are all going to stay out on the racetrack. Checking a bit deeper in. No drivers coming in yet, save for Michael DeWalt. DeWalt will make a pit from the 22 car, the DeWalt Mustang. I see what you did there. Rocky, and I believe that's the retro Matt Kenseth scheme back from when he ran that car over and around 2003 in the NASCAR Cup Series. Saw Kyle Green leaving pit row. Matt Rucci trying to see if he can hang firm with this bottom line, to see if he can try to get himself a solid run. It's just such a challenge to try to put yourself up there in a good position, as Dingler will now take a narrow entry. He'll enter pit road. He'll take the likes of Matt Sherry and Michael Kenner in with him. Hunter Thrower also bailing out. He'll come to pit road. So is Colton Hoffner. So pit strategy really starting to open up here. On track, Dave Gage just got up and around Robert Peterson of the Radeon 97 Mustang for what's now 11th on the racetrack, but Peterson going to fight back. Oh, and Matt Rucci, there it is, coming into pit road. So the 88 car has had enough. He's going to bail out. Sean Kaiser, Grant Peterson down and then with him, and Gage way to the inside. So pit road, a very busy place then here at the moment, as you've still got Cray and Ray out there on the racetrack, and we'll see if they're going to be down in this time by. The window's definitely just about opened up for these guys to be able to make it to the end. And trouble, I think, for Colton Hoffner on the racetrack. And yeah, he has spun that car on the inside of turn number 2. We'll cut back to that once everything's sorted here on pit road, but there's still a lot going on. See, Colby Wells is going to make his run down in towards pit road. Todd Cray staying out. You see out on the racetrack, the drivers of Todd Cray, Matt Rucci, and Spencer Ray. These are the 3 drivers that were in that fight for the race lead, and Purcell's going to make the run down into the row. Whoa, hello, LaValle, clipping the inside wall. So Matt LaValle actually gets up and into the inside wall, entering pit road. Get a quick on board with this one, as I have a feeling Matt LaValle just a bit too aggressively on entry here. Oh, lost control, and credit to him, did a good job giving that about as well as it could have gone, and there it is. Cray's in for service, Musati's down with him. Now keep tabs on Matt Rucci. I think Rucci at the moment, the net race leader. And he's got Spencer Ray right behind him as well. So you got a lot of drivers that are going to be working their way around now, trying to see if they can put themselves up into leading positions. Here's Cray into his pit box. There's Matt Rucci coming around through turn numbers 3 and 4, trying to see if he can hightail after and take that position up by the time Cray leaves the box. And he will do just that. But Munson, he is out in front, so I think Kyle Munson might actually be the race leader. We'll take a look at what the pit strategies are looking like here for the moment. And Kyle Munson did pit, but it was about 7 laps ago, so he's going to be under some heavy fire here by these guys, and will have enough to make it to the end of this race. Now that we took a look on your run of pit stops, we'll try to see if we can find what happened to Colton Hoffner here. This was coming around off of pit road, and he's just lost control all by his lonesome there on the pit exit. Ryan Wortham all the way from when he leaves pit road. We'll follow him around here. So we pick him up over in turn 2. I wonder, is he clipped? No, he's just throttled up too quick, and that's what sent the 0-0 around. Oh, and then he spun it again, just downshifting to try to get himself back sorted. It's an embarrassing mistake for Colton Hoffner, but good news is no yellow flag. We stay green, and now we look back to Ryan Dingler and Colby Wells side by side for 5th place down towards turns 1 and 2. As we get set to take 15 laps to go. And Todd Cray lost a lot of time exiting pit road by staying now for so long. He's followed all the way back to the 7th position now, and that's not good news there for Todd Cray. Really struggling to work his way up through this field. You got Wells and Green still tight together, but here's Kyle Munson again leading this race, but lap deltas show not for long. Matt Rucci has been steadily closing him in by about a couple of tenths of a second every single lap, and that gap's going to close in again here off of turn number 4. We'll see what the delta is at the end of lap 61. In by another quarter of a second, so the gap time is definitely starting to come down in this fight here for the race lead. See, it's been very consistent in the drop between about 2 seconds all the way down to where it's at right now. So this fight for the race lead is going to be on. And he's going to get him here this very lap. Way it stands, Rucci is again going to be right on him. There's the look to the inside line. Matt Rucci going to go for the commitment down and towards turn numbers 3 and 4. Rucci is back through and into the race lead. And he's cleared by a good second or so back to Spencer Ray. So now Rucci will be able to get himself a fairly solid drive up here and be able to potentially run away with race lead here, unless Munson has something for him back down to turn 1. In fact, he does. Kyle Munson trying to defend, but just no way he's going to end up dropping back behind Matt Rucci here. Meanwhile, Kenner and Bussati changing hands with each other as Bussati puts himself back up into the top 10. We take a look on how things stand on the movers and shakers so far. Rucci obviously gained the most. Not qualify. He's up 27 spots to the race lead. Driver back. Spot the driver that's lost the most. Kevin Cordall lost 22 positions, and then another 18 lost for Hunter Thrower. And you take a look at what lap these guys pitted on here, and it kind of paints a bit of a picture here as to where things are at. Spencer Ray pitted the lap after Matt Rucci did, so he'll be trying to close on enough. That gap's down to 0.6 of a second, coming to 10 laps to go. So Spencer Ray has the potential to make a run for the race lead here. Like you watch on screen, though, Kyle Green and Clark Gennigan. Anthony Bussati doing his hardest to try to break the timing screens. It's the waiting game now. It's the question of, will we be able to get ourselves a green flag run to the end, or is this going to end up developing to something bigger as the event goes along? Anthony Bussati tucked in behind Kyle Green as Gennigan gets through. And behind, Matt Cherry. Exchanging hands with a couple of his compatriots right on board with Cherry here as he tries to get around the likes of Michael Kenner. It's a bit of a squeeze in that middle line as Kenner tries to pinch Bussati or Cherry down, but couldn't commit to the run. One driver that is committed, though, Spencer Ray, is going to dive to the inside of Matt Rucci. This is for the race lead, and they've caught lap traffic. Rucci trying to fend him off on the top shelf, and Rucci goes up high. They're going to try to get around Jeffrey Rudick at the number 28 car there on the bottom. Ray clears Rucci with the crossover. They're going to go 3 wide and split lap traffic. Rucci down to the inside. Now tries to push up in front of Spencer Ray, but there's no room. Drag race down the back straightaway. Rucci trying to hang on down towards turn numbers 3 and 4. lunges up the inside, and he clears with the lead once more. Now it's Ray's turn to try to go for the over-under. Starting lap 69, Rucci finally yields, and I think now Spencer Ray finally has himself a secured race lead. And Matt Rucci going to be doing everything he can to try to see if he can't hightail after him and get that lead back. He's got 6 laps to do it, but I think on the older tires, he might have burned them up a bit too early. All the while, you've still got Ryan Dingler and Clark Gennikin running side by side. They've been running together for a little while now. And Dingler still taking it up to the top shelf, and one car slow on the bottom. That's Jeffrey Rudick. And smoking from Jeffrey Rudick as well. He's going to go off track. Heads up. Don't come up in 3 and 4. So the 74 car smoking something fierce there, the number 74 car. And he's going to take that car down and into pit road here this time by. It's now how Rudy was hoping for that day to end, but that's going to be game over for the number 74 car. And I wonder if potentially just overheated or what the heck happened here to Jeffrey Rudick. To back that up a bit more, I think I just found our cause of what the heck happened here. We'll ride on board and listen in. Downshifted. That's what did him in. He accidentally downshifted the car, and that's what caused him to run down into pit road. Meanwhile, Cray all over Spencer Ray. 3.5 to go, and Todd Cray trying to take back the lead into turn numbers 3 and 4. Started on the pole, lost it in a horrendous run in the pits, and now trying to see if he can just get himself resorted and trying to take that lead away and hold on to it with 3 laps left in the books. Todd Cray pitted 2 laps after Spencer Ray. He's got 2-lap fresher tires. I think at this point, though, it doesn't quite matter. Ray's going to have to try to fight everything he can to try to chase after Todd Gray. And don't forget, you still got Matt Rucci within half a second and ready to pounce. Lap traffic going to be a factor in how this fight develops with these last 2 laps. Colton Hoffner going to move up to the outside line as it's 2 laps left to go. Behind Dingler, Munson, Wells, and Gennigan all still under a blanket trying to see if they can fight it out amongst themselves as well for some last spots inside and around the top 5. It's going to be all eyes up front, though, as Todd Cray starts the last trip around. Spencer Ray's got one chance trying to make this happen. And he's going to have to try to set himself up for 3. Down into turns 1 and 2. Todd Cray still holding strong, developing that gap up to over 1/4 of a second. Does Ray have what it takes to run him down on the back straightaway? He'll have to throw a Hail Mary if he wants to make this work. Down to 3 and 4, but he's too far back. Munson losing positions in the background, but for Todd Gray, he lost the lead early after starting on pole, takes it back with 2.5 to go, and he will win the second race, the OMSRL Xfinity Series in Auto Club. As all the while, a wild run for the 5th position as cars filed across the line. Watch this heads-up race as these guys hightailed it off of the final corner, and Colby Wells went for the Hail Mary to go for these last positions all the way down the road in towards the end of this race. What a way for us to close things out here tonight as the last of the drivers just trying to make their way across the line now, and about as good of a run as you could hope for here from the Auto Club Speedway. And I have to say, a race that a lot of these guys absolutely deserve, but no more than Todd Gray is going to burn it down on the front straightaway. Let's take a rundown of your official post-race results here tonight from Auto Club Speedway. Todd Gray, the winner, with Spencer Ray in second, Rucci in third, Musati brings it up in fourth. Kyle Munson is up in 5th place with Colby Wells in 6th. Clark Denikin brings up 7th with Ryan Zinkler in 8th. Kyle Green is 9th, and Michael Kenner rounds out the top 10. Grant Peterson will be back in 11th place with Matt Cherry in 12th. Robert Peterson in 13th, DeWald in 14th. Sean Kaiser in 15th, Dave Gage in 16th. Nathan Shiflett in 17th with Josh Ball in 18th. 19th place was Zachary Kreisler, Hunter Thrower rounded out the top 20. 7th Purcell, Sean Anderson, LaValle, Schramm, Reed, and Noyes rounded out the drivers that finished on the lead lap. And from there it is the likes of Hopfner, Morton, Cordall, Welsenbach, and Rudick to round to the field, with Jeffrey Rudick being the sole DNF after the race tonight. What a drive for all these guys out here in this field, and about as good of a run as you could possibly hope for out here from this one. And we will see if we can't get a word in here real quick with your race winner here in just a few moments, as Todd Gray takes a well-earned race victory for himself and trying to just find him here real quick. And there he is over in the TTB Racing crew, and we're going to be joined here by race winner Todd Gray taking it home tonight. And Todd, you lost the lead early, but you managed to get it back right when it counted at the end. Why don't you walk us through those last few laps?
Yeah, man. I actually started a race. I just went hard just to kind of see where we're at. A lot of fog tonight, and just really wanted to feel it out, see what a hard run was going to do, and take that run and use it for the last run. And that's pretty much what we did. We're able to save those tires a little bit, get a little longer run than the guys there, and it was a tough once you get into that bad air, it makes it a little tougher. But whew, man, I'm glad we made it there tonight.
Of course, you did pit 2 laps later than everybody else so far for the leading guys over in your little grouping there. Was it the fresh tires that ended up winning that race for you in the end?
Yeah. I mean, those guys were fast tonight, and had to manage them. I wore them off a little bit there at the end, which kind of hurt. But yeah, we just tried to stay consistent, gain those 2 laps fresher tires. It's always a help here at Auto Club, and we were banking on it tonight. And whew, man, good clean racing, and first show here for me. And man, nothing better than being in the winner's circle.
Well, with this win, you're looking set to overtake the likes of Dave Gage for the Rookie of the Season award. And you reckon you'll be able to make a run at that award by season's end here?
Dave's my buddy, man. He brought me in. He runs the team. So, it's a good friendly competition. But, of course, we plan on taking it. So we'll leave it at that for now. But, yeah, it's just fun racing, like the guys I race with. Good team. First night with the league here, a lot of good, clean racing, good, tight racing. So really excited for the future here.
Well, thank you for joining us here tonight, Todd. Congratulations on the hard-earned race win, and best of luck then going forward into Bristol next week.
All right, we'll be there. Thank you, guys.
It's Todd Gray joining us up here from Victory Lane to the number 21 car, and see if we can get a hold of your second and third place drivers. No Spencer Ray, it looks like, to get a chat with us here over in this one, but we will be able to dial up the third place finisher. Matt Rucci joins us here, and Rucci, most spots game for you today, 25 plus on the day for you, but it didn't quite turn into a race win this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had the right strategy, pitting a little bit earlier, but I think, I can make all the excuses I want, but, at the end of the day, they caught me. I did have a little bit of damage from hitting the wall before pit stops, but, it is what it is. Congrats to, Spencer and Todd for, getting up there. I had a pretty good lead, but I don't know. I was saving tires. I mean, the tires weren't the issue. I don't know. To be honest, I was just slow. But yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun. I won't be able to make every race, so the races I do, racing, I want to make the most of it. But I had fun, so that's what matters.
And of course, when you get around to a track like Auto Club, strategy can often play a big hand into this. You didn't think, though, that tires, though, had a bit of didn't have everything to do with it. Do you reckon if you had maybe gotten a caution in the later run, you might have been able to hang on to that lead?
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously tires. I think he had like 3-lap pressure tires, and Spencer had like 1 lap or something like that. Yeah. I mean, it definitely helped them, but I think I don't know. Just they I don't really know what the fall off was, but I know it was pretty bad. It got really tight near the end of the runs. But yeah.
And of course, next week up, it's going to be Bristol, Tennessee, and the last great Coliseum. Can we expect to see you out there for race number 3? And if so, what's your take as we get set to go into the world's fastest half mile?
Not sure if I'm like going each week. I don't know if I'm gonna make it or not. Depends on my scheduling, but yeah. I mean, if I do race Bristol, I probably won't enjoy it because Bristol is probably like my worst track out of every NASCAR track. I just struggle there for some reason. But if I do race, I'll give it a shot.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to get yourself some good starts later on in the season, and hopefully we'll be able to talk to you plenty more times before the season is over. Thanks for joining us here tonight, Matt. Congratulations on the third place finish.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up for our podium drivers then, and that's about going to be just about a wrap then for us here from Green Flag TV, and what a ride it has been for us here in this one, and could not have asked for a better way to kick off these first couple of races. You had a race that ended in a lot of showers of sparks, but this time we found this race finishing out clean and green, and it was certainly a race that Todd Cray will be remembering for a long time to come. Next week up is going to be Bristol, Tennessee. Catching all the action, same time, same place, right here on Green Flag TV. My name is Little Rempel. Thank you for watching the OMSRL Xfinity Series. We'll see you guys all next time when we swing on out to the last great Coliseum.